NIL is going to be the main topic of this video today because the Georgia Bulldogs have just passed the NIL bill. What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the North to South show presented by Touchdowns to Home Runs. I know we usually do this live on Mondays and Wednesdays at 7 o'clock Eastern, but this is my show. I make the rules, and if I want to talk about something now and post it now, I'm going to do that because this is something that intrigues me, and if you're any college football fan, this will highly intrigue you because if you haven't taken note of it yet, this is how college football will be run the next couple of years. This is where recruiting battles will be won. So many different things will play in a factor with NIL upcoming for the upcoming years in college football. So, guys, if you are an SEC football fan, that's what we talk about here on the North to South show, SEC football, everything. If you're a Bulldogs fan, if you're a whatever fan, do me a favor, hit that like button down below and hit that sub button. And while we're at it, I'll pull up my ad. You see the hat I got here? This is the official North to South show hat. I just launched these on our store, but I have the individual state ones that I'm going one by one. So for this video, because I'm talking mainly Georgia Bulldogs, I'll launch the Georgia one. So you could go get those in our store. The link will be in the bio, or you could hit that little notification up above. The hats are only $25, and I tell you, these are great quality. Go get your official North to South show trucker hats now. Only $25. Go get yourself a deal and support your Georgia football team. Just go do it. NIL. So what does NIL stand for? Name, image, likeness. If you hadn't already known that, I know no one refers to it in any articles or any news thing. You're always going to see NIL, but that does stand for name, that stands for image, and that stands for likeness. Going through all these things, I'm going to give you just the basis of what my knowledge goes to on what all these things are. Name is pretty much, I think, around your brand, your own personal brand. So whether that be you have an Instagram account that you can monetize a YouTube channel, maybe you launch your own merch line. Like, you see so many post-college athletes, as soon as they graduate, just instantly make their own merch line and start selling towards fans because they can do that. Once they graduate, once their football season is over, they do that. And you can start monetizing off of Instagram and stuff. Like, if you watch any of the NFL draft guys, if you follow them on Instagram, even before they post about anything about them getting drafted, you see guys being advertising Home Depot or Lowe's or Pizza Hut or all these different places because they're allowed to monetize their brand in that sense. So Instagram and all those different brand where you could kind of build a brand around your name, that is kind of that name part. Image, I already kind of touched on it. Image is more like advertisements and stuff like that. Like, let's say in Georgia, JT Daniels gets a phone call from Uncle Jimmy's car shop that they want to put a big, nice billboard out on the interstate advertising for Uncle Jimmy's car shop. What JT is allowed to do, at least from my knowledge, JT is allowed to go, obviously, be in the advertisement, so they're going to take a picture of him or whatever, but I'm pretty sure he is not allowed to wear anything Georgia Bulldogs related. He can wear just a regular polo shirt that maybe has the Georgia State outline on it or just a red football on it. That is fine, but I'm pretty sure you are not allowed to wear anything Georgia Bulldogs related, advertising in ads like that and stuff. So that's, at least from my knowledge. I could have changed that from my understanding from the conversation that's been happening. Again, that could have changed, but from my understanding, that is how the whole advertising thing is working. And then likeness, the big news that, if you remember in February, I remember I went ballistic when I heard this, although we're not getting it till 2023. Player likeness basically means that these guys will be able to be compensated for their player likeness in NCAA football 2023. I think that's when it's going to come out. So that just means you can customize your player towards them. You can put Georgia Bulldog stuff on him, and you can have him in the game as quarterback. Whether then in the old days of college football, like NCAA football, it was just like you could go on and roster share and get names on the players, but like just the raw game, it was just like QB number 16, QB number 14, wide receiver number 2, wide receiver number 3, defensive end number 7, like stuff like that, where they don't even have the names actually. So now you're going to be able to have names, obviously, in that college football game. The players are going to look alike, and that's just the trick, what way we're going with college football. Now, there are already a couple states that have passed this bill. Like, it's not like Georgia is the first one, and Georgia's going to get a huge recruiting advantage because they have on NIL. There's so many teams that already have it, and there's so many programs that are going to do it after July 1st. Like, yes, it's good that Georgia got it out of the way and reassuring to their players that they care about them and that they want them to be able to make money well in college, because these guys have some pretty big brands, especially you're talking guys who play on Georgia, for goodness sake. Like, yes, I understand guys that play at like Georgia Tech aren't going to have the same brand that guys at Georgia will. That's the same brand that like JT Daniels does on a national level. But every single major college football program is going to have it. I think already Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas, Florida, and now Georgia are all in on it. So after July 1st, all those teams will be allowed to go and do that and monetize themselves. Where I think this gets really interesting is you're going to see a whole new shift of what these college teams are going to be investing in the future. We've seen in the last couple of years, you've seen the investment of the facilities that you're providing these kids. You're not allowed to pay the players, so you got to compensate them in somehow. How about having them live basically in a luxury football facility or luxury residence or whatever it is? So they've really been investing in the facilities that they have. Not only does the facilities, it's just a recruiting thing, but it also makes the players better. When you have more resources, more squat racks, more equipment in the gym, more lounges or whatever for players to hang out and keep them inside the football facility and have them be able to do everything that they can imagine inside that football facility, I think that's a win for the players, and it's a win for the coaches. It's a win for everyone in the program. So that's what lots of college football teams have been investing in, is the football facilities. But I'm going to tell you what this is going to kind of shift towards. I'm not saying that football facilities are going to be completely disregarded, because I still think it'll be a massive part of recruiting. But I'm telling you, these media teams for each and every university is going to play a huge role in how this works, in how NIL works, and in how recruiting will work, because I'm guessing most college football programs, I don't understand, it would be stupid not to, because this is, again, a recruiting thing, will allow players to take their own media footage or whatever. So let's say the media teams go out and they take a picture of JT Daniels playing against freaking Kentucky one weekend, or they take a video of him, or they make a hype video of him or whatever. JT Daniels can go out, take that, and monetize it, because he now owns rights to himself, and the university is going to give him every single media piece that they have of him and allow him to monetize that. That's where I think the win is, in terms of you're going to see media teams get a huge investment in them in college football, because it's no longer just for the fans, the social media and everything to look at and be cool. And yes, the players right now, they all post their own hype videos and pictures and everything, and they look amazing, but they don't make money off of them. When money starts to get involved, you're going to want to go to a school who is going to provide you with the best content possible, the best possible personal content of yourself possible. That's where I think every single team in the nation, you're going to see way more content from all these different players, because it's going to be a recruiting thing. Why would you go to school A if they're not going to give you your own content or whatever, or they're not going to put as much effort into the content that they give you? When you're a big name player and you can monetize yourself for a lot of money, when you could go to school B, they're going to give you access to every single photo, every single video. They'll have guys who you can go up to and say, hey, can you make a hype video for me? Can I post it on my Instagram or stuff? And they'll be like, yeah, 100%, because that's their job. That's what they do. They go out there, they do that, and then they're able to monetize that. They're able to go out, post it on Instagram, or maybe, do you guys remember another thing? Do you guys remember Destroying? I know he's still on YouTube, but he was the UCF kicker back in a couple years ago. And he had to stop playing. He got a scholarship taken away or whatever, because he had a YouTube channel and he was making money off of it, and he was making a lot of it. And the NCAA was like, no, you're not allowed to do that, because blah, 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 you're making money, we're giving you scholarship and all the NCAA rules. But now those players are going to be able to do YouTube channels and stuff like that. And you look at guys who are national big name guys. Like if you take last year, for example, Trevor Lawrence, I'm not saying every single player on every single team would be able to get a Gatorade ad, but you'd have the main guys. Trevor Lawrence would be able to. I'm talking Devontae Smith would probably be able to get a Gatorade ad or something like that, or some other big company. Who else from last season? You probably go, I don't know about Kyle Trask, maybe Mac Jones, like guys like that. They're national name brands. Like Everyone knows their names. Well, you go to a program like, let's say, what's not a big time program, but like is still very, very popular in that area. Like, let's take Matt Corral, for example, or Connor Basilick from Missouri. Let's go with him. He had a very good first season in Missouri. I'm pretty sure most people in Missouri know who we are, but are people in, let's say, California going to see a Gatorade ad and be like, oh, it's Connor Basilick from Missouri? No. So there's going to be lots of guys who advertise locally and make a pretty good bang for their buck in that sense. But then you're going to have the big name national guys who are going to be able to advertise for these big companies and take a pretty decent paycheck for what they do there. So I think the good media teams right now, the recruiting that is going to be able to entail and bring to your program, because you're selling the content that you have to the players for them to sell to other people, advertisers, and all that kind of stuff. It's going to play a huge, huge, huge role in recruiting. I tell you that. And the good media teams right now, I don't want to showboat or anything, but I'm telling you, my South Carolina Gamecocks, best media team in the country. Just go on any other social media platforms. Unbelievable work that they do. They're going to have a leg up because they already know what they're doing. And those teams that have kind of pushed social media to the waysides, it's going to sting because coming up is the big NIL wave. So that is kind of my little, I don't want to say rant, just my talk on what's going on with the whole NIL thing and this whole situation that Georgia has now monetized it or allowed the bill to pass. Everyone's going to have it. I think I'm going to talk more about it on the show Monday because it's something that personally I'm really, really interested in. But thank you guys for tuning into this video. Like down below, hit the sub button, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and definitely come back next time.